No one talks side to side in real life. That's why I'm the winner. And they're freaking out. They can't hide. They're reading off teleprompters. Just can't be done. They can't hide nothing from nobody. I've got 2 movies on Cheney already downloaded. Doesn't seem very easy to download anymore. The speeds are all throttled. I kind of don't want to watch any more Lon Chaney, but I already did that. I'd rather have some documentary lined up and I talk over it. Those I find the most fun, the ones I'm most proud of. Although sometimes these movies work out. Silent movies. So the last one, I apologize, I watched it. It was just a beaten up public domain copy of it from archive.org. There were tons of comments and views. I figured it was a decent copy, but sorry about that. The main thing was I think the first 15 minutes, and then how I cobbled together St. Thomas by Sonny Rollins. I like that I can now improvise. I'm telling my younger self that it wasn't your fault. If you had only known that it was juggling, that it was all in the head, it was all, the notes didn't even mean anything because you already knew the notes and you knew you could make the sound. I would like to sing more in the future. I'll see how it goes. I want it to be something easy enough where I don't have to slave over it. So let's do the countdown thing and get a movie going. I've got a pick. I got 2 of them by Lon Chaney. This is all live. I'm no longer editing. Just looking to do something about room sounds. I was just talking for quite a bit and didn't realize that I had hit pause on recording. Ugh, I hate it when that happens. Okay, we're on Hunchback of Notre Dame. The countdown, 5, 4, 3. Yes, it's recording. I already did 5, 4, 3, so 2, 1, start. Okay, taking a look at this video. What is the background? It's blurry already. Hunchback of Lon Chaney. Is that a flower bed or bushes? What the hell is that? A tree? Bark? Someone put on some reading glasses and inform. It started saying inform on those shows. He's one of the better informers. It's like, what? Do you know what that sounds like? The other day I'm like, I wouldn't leave a comment to myself either. It sounded like I used sock puppets. They used to say I used sock puppets because I was so clever. I could beat up anyone in dialogue. I mean in internet stuff. Without the need for sock puppets. My left wing had a rule that allowed it. And that was a military run situation. The proverbial, it's all the King's Chamberlain. What the hell is, right, Notre Dame. So they set us up. The internet was a setup. Look at that thing. Is that Tartaria? Is that before the mud flood? What did that say? I think I already saw this as a kid. And I think I saw this a few years back when I had a special interest of watching cinema. The freebies I would never pay. The Indorn? Right, the cathedral. Lon Chaney's pretty cool. I think he was amazing as an actor. To celebrate. So I suppose back in the day it was a mixing of the religion with... What are they doing out there? They're on drugs. What the hell's going on? Oh, usually it's tyrannical, but they get one day. What the hell was that? It is that same woman who was in the other. Gorilla. They're dressed as gorilla. This is a pretty good movie already. One can tell. This is the greatest thing I've seen in a long time. And I'm very picky. 10 years before Columbus, that would be 1482? 1482? That's way back. Jesus, that's an ugly looking guy. I'm not gonna lie. So I said I'm not gonna lie. I said it before Theron did. That's how they gaslight me. They are so busted reading teleprompters. It's pretty funny. There's a reason why Brisson did shows on me. He deleted it then. He deleted it. Manhands went after. Manhan started doxing and effing with Autumn Sword. I tried to debate her, and then she didn't say anything. And then 2 months later, she shows up trying to debate it. The main debate, well, she was obviously trying to distract me from going after Sam Cedar. You know, the bigger names. They want you to go after low-life riffraff that no one's ever heard of. At least some people have. He's not a bad-looking guy, after all. I mean, he's got a nice smile. What are those, Romans? Is that what that was back then? Yeah, the Romans. Louis the 11th? Well, this movie seems to have a political angle to it, with an agenda. Nah, just kidding. Louis... Is that New Orleans? Is it the French in New Orleans? The decadence? The debauchery? Those look like javelins, or I don't know what the... Whoa! Who's that? That was Franco from 1482. Franco, no one's gonna know what I'm saying. It's that guy AOC needed to get the restraining order against. I had some good moments. I had some clever jibs. What's he get? Chewing tobacco in there for the big huge cheeks? That's so fake looking. He's like an elephant. The elephant man. Why does he have to be so mean about it? Just ring the bells. The first wrestler in history. I've seen guys on stamps. I've seen stamps that look like this. Oh, it is a giant. There was a Tartar. That guy's got to be 8 feet tall. She's 7'4". She would tower over Ralph Sampson or be about the same height. He's like giant. Think of JC. Think of the big guy up in the sky. Think of. Stop thinking about Lucifer. Jahan, that's not a real name. That's not bad video. You can kind of see what's going on. They're not stilted movements. So that guy's about 9'1". This is taking place in there's a part of France. It used to be called Tartar sauce. Oh my God! Look up there. It's the beast. See, he's taunting the. Can they even? How are they gonna make him out? His face out. Damn, that's incredible. Wow, is that how they? That has to be camera tricks. Damn, Lon Chaney. These movies back then were so scary. Nothing nowadays has the horror element. I don't think. This is so real looking. It's got the same feeling of infinity of what's the other one? Now I'm thinking about the idea in general of these adventures. The old Japanese silent movies. That guy's eyebrows went up, so they definitely had cocaine going on back then. I know that. And morphine was practically legal, or it was. Women were on it. Apparently. It's like a Mount Rushmore, but 3 of them. What, he's sticking his junk into holy. Those are giants. That proves that there were giants. It's almost as if this is conspiracy science. Why does he keep that's Freemason sticking out the tongue. Maybe it's subversive against the Freemason. Maybe there's some meaning to this. Is this Victor Hugo? Is this that guy? Did he write all of them? There's the other one coming up, Phantom of the Opera. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. The Insect. Has anyone seen Phantom of the Opera? It's incredible. It's a silent, over 100 years old, and it's better than anything else from today. Phantom of the Opera. I'm still glad to have picked this one over, because I was going to pick between this or Phantom of the Opera. This seems. I wanted something lighter, more realistic. Phantom of the Opera is, oh my, it's very claustrophobic. I'm waiting for stamps to dry. I did the kiloware type of grounding around for small numbers of good stamps. I don't know where to go anymore to purchase stamps. Everyone seems so corrupt. Well, not everyone. But even when they're not corrupt, it seems people are really trying to take advantage of others, even if it isn't an outright theft. It's weird how they kissed so much back in the day. I remember that from the kids making the kiss symbol. So there a lot of stuff like that back in the day. I didn't like it, and I'm glad it stopped. The moms kissing kids on the lips. And in that last movie, they're kissing the kid on the lips. It wasn't even their kid. So it was a bit Epsteinish. Although in Epstein's defense, he was going for teenagers, right? Only a fool would say there's no difference between a teenager and a kid. Jesus H. I mean, it's still wrong, the statutory rape. I'm not saying that. I think I was on BitChute, and when I made that Britney Zamora video, frickin', they gave her 20 years, and I looked into it a little bit in the text messages, and I spoke out the lines of the kid and the woman, Britney Zamora, 20 years, because it's one of those redneck, those backwards states. And the kid's like, yeah, this is good, I can't wait to F you. That's what the kid said. Did you ever see Happy Days? Fonzie had the little nephew Spike. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or Chachi, it came out that Chachi was a Me Too predator. Although, I'm not sure how much the proof was. It was that woman, the woman from Baywatch. I don't know why I'm starting to talk in this lower kind of. The voice sort of just sunk. And, whoa, they're lifting him up. He's got a Burger King hat on. Couldn't they have? Well, was Burger King even around back then? Did that guy just do Tai Chi? Here. That's really all there's a lot of, Kahootin. I can't come up with the word. There's a lot of, rabble. Oh, she was so cute. Fierce Heart. Clopin? What a name. That's a good name. There's the giant. Oh yeah, she's very cute. That pervert right there. I think she's cute because of her mind. I don't know what he was thinking. The reveling, that's the word. The Bastille. That's it. But it's not famous until the French Revolution right now. That's a big castle. Is that a Brit? I bet that guy's British based on the chin. Just kidding, come on. Get the F out of Ireland, though. Sure, I'll root for the Ireland people. I hope they're all doing well. Those were probably the best years of life until maybe this year. Of this life. In this life. It looks cold in there. How big a room did they need? What is that? You could fit a Trojan horse into that thing. See, he's doing Tai Chi. He's doing that. I picked this up on a travel to China. You breathe in as you move the hand around ever so naturally based on the breath. Long Johns. People are going nuts. That's Mardi Gras, right? Is that what Mardi Gras is supposed to be? Some French. And Canada's got a lot of French. Why does she have to make fun? Why does she have to make fun of him? He's like, all I want. It's like that guy. Some guy tried to he killed the showgirls. What an idiot. He got shunned by the showgirls. So, shit like that, he probably got triggered by internet. And then the military uses examples like that to prop up their incel crap. So they create the person through their influence. What was that thing Confucius said? There was something in the last movie about Confucius saying something about if you have great rulers for 100 years or so, there'd be no crime. So that's a nurture, or arguing nurture over nature. So there's individuals, there's existentialism, that is the start point of departure. So it's not narcissism, it's not looking to outside sources. The individual is the only one capable of experiencing their own unique location, disposition, manifestation. I'm listening, I'm watching. A kiss on the hand, that proves I'm in time. She's got some tambourine or something. That guy seems to be staring at her while he should be. That was rude of him. I never did stuff like that. Isn't there that meme picture? The guy looking back at a different, he's with his girlfriend, but he's staring. It's all divide and conquer. I don't remember too many sexist pigs. I'm sure they existed, but I don't think it's the big percentage of people suck. But the big percentage of people are conditioned. A vast majority of those who believe they're not conditioned are actually very conditioned, sometimes more conditioned than people who never think in terms of philosophy or poetics. The absurdity of consciousness means we have to say, this is me, yes, hi, this is me. I'm me. I am separate from everything else. That is freedom. I haven't really been paying much attention to this, so Esmeralda He's walking home. There's Quasimodo. Something about a king being tyrannical. They got to rabble rouse. Why is he shielding his... Oh, they don't want her to see them. That guy. Dressed up horses. Okay, the lighting just got a little bit better. They're gonna kidnap her. How come I have no idea what this movie's about? I guess that's good, and I'm lucky. Oh, to fake save her. I bet. Or they set up Quasimodo's a patsy. Yeah, he's a pet. I'm a patsy. He looked like Lon Chaney looked like his son. He's looking like his son in this one. The Man of a Thousand Faces. I love his acting. He made one movie. I wish it was public domain. It might be, but I don't think so. What, she's going for him because he's the king? Or is that the king? Because he's rich and powerful? Oh, because what? She's loving him because he saved her, and then so Lon Chaney, there's a movie from I think 1931. He died the next year or something, but he made one movie, one talkie. I would try to watch that. It's pretty good. He's something Hitchcock would tip the cap. Is that the phrase? The baseball pitchers, they tipped it. Oh, I respect you. Now I'm going to throw it 95 miles an hour past you. Limpy McLimp. There's a dog. What? A guy just punched a woman? There's a lot going on in that. The blind can't see. The fake blind? Is that it? Everyone's scamming. That's Tai Chi. It's demented. That's what those shows are doing lately. They think they're mocking Tai Chi, but they look demented. Clopin? Is that like Chopin? Clopin? Sounds like one of those antidepressant Clopin or something. I can see the time. It's 10:22. I need to see the time of this. Damn, over an hour and 14 minutes. I can't really hit pause. Be too much of a hassle to align everything. The key to the shtick is that I'm watching this at the same time as anyone else. I don't remember this movie at all. I know he rang the bell and he had a hunchback. See the guys looking at the horse? They open the door, they're walking, right in there they're walking in. See, I'm not cheating. I'm not scripted. How can I prove that I'm watching this in real time and it's all like, see the guy's pointing, but I said it too late. The nose. pointing, sitting down her. There's a woman right there. He's like, may I take your coat? May I get you a hot... Oh, I did. I called it. And she just, yep. He just threw it right down. And his hand down. Voila. Trying to prove that I'm watching this in real time, but it's not that easy. Oh, I could have started talking when that subtitle came up, but now I can't do it. One must do that immediately to prove it. Screen just went blank. Spiderweb. Did that prove it? Did I speak faster? Wow, the spider. That thing, they looked like a cat almost. It was using its arm. I try not to kill the bugs, but if they're in the house... I know, I should put them in a cup and let them out. Does she have coke jar? Fortune teller told me. He looks like he's on coke. Yeah, cocaine. I called it. The eyebrows and the cocaine coke jar. I called it. I'm the winner. I predicted it. Boom, he put his hand down. Does that prove I'm watching this? Putting his hand over her hair, tugging at her hair. Well, he's pushing down her shoulder toward the arm, past the armpit. She's looking down, doing a little tai chi. It's slowly. She's like, okay. She said yes with her. Oh, he's really feeling her up and stuff now. I feel like a voyeur when I just wanted to watch a movie. Now I understand why they needed a production code. This is not... It was put about my neck by Mother. I scarce remember her. But I know that so long as I wear it, no harm can befall me. I'm gonna look to the side and reflect and then bow down. He's putting... He's like, oopsies, I'll just put that right back up. Talking about her mom. Yeah, that's funny. Is that supposed to be funny? I thought that was funny. He's like, well, that ruins that. You don't want the image of just thinking like dead cats. What's that funny joke we said? It's not even funny, but I've had that trouble before where I can't you can't control the smile when it doesn't line up. The motion doesn't line up with what's expected by the society. Those people are funny. They probably probably smoking weed, the extras, to pull that off, drinking it up. That guy looked weird. What's he dressed in? They took his clothes off. Oh, all right. So the poor people are the good guys. Oh, so he's a good guy. The giant's a good guy. He's a traitor. Well, the 99% they'll give him a chance. Oh, it's a poet. They're like, don't pull that Tai Chi. You're not going to pull that Tai Chi on me. Alright, put down the knife. His eyebrows went nuts. That could be from coffee. Looks like a ballet dancer. He's acting like Mango from Saturday Night Live. Chris Kattan. That's the past life of Chris Kattan. That's my scoop. It's an immediate scoop. Oh, I figured out that movie Detour, the film noir. The guy who gave the main actor, the Red, the guy from Boston, that was the past life of Lenny Clark. I regretted not remembering in real time. What, they're gonna hang him? Come on, don't do that. That's not cool. Esmeralda. That's Julia Louis-Dreyfus from a past life. That's another. It's called an instant scoop. That's Kramer. The giant turned out to be Kramer. That I said that's Julia Louis. Lane Dennis. Is that her name? So maybe Jerry and George are around in this movie. He's like, alright, let him down. Alright, the woman. The beautiful, virtuous woman. The poet. Oh, that's Jon Stewart. That's Jon Stewart. That's my scoop. So it's not Chris Kattan. I was wrong. There's someone hooting it up toward they were way up high, sitting on something. The hunchback. But he was set up as a patsy. Ouch. They're not gonna execute him for attempted kidnapping. He's like a rabbit. Wow. What a strong guy for it. That was the worst. I was probably talking a couple minutes earlier, and I go, oh, I'll just check to make sure this is recording, and it wasn't right before I started this. Somehow there's still over an hour and 6 minutes. Let's guess who they were now. Who they are now, they were. That's not believable. They looked a little too Martha Stewart-y. Those guys look a little too eager to whip a guy. Is this meant to represent Pompeii? The decadence. They're attacking the 99%, basically. Oh, of course, his hunchback's covered in animal fur. Come on. That's not realistic. Oh, people dressed as demons. The crowd's enjoying that a little too much. That guy with the goofy. Ugh. Little sexual assault, never heard. The hell's an apple eating? This movie's pretty funny. It's kind of like Freaks. It's just so in one's mug. Outrageous with outrageousness. Oh, time's running out. Alright, time's up. No more lashes. How about one? He's like, damn, I want to get that one last one in. Exclamation mark. What kind of sadistic film is this? That guy's hiccuping as if he's drunk. Is that what that was? So come on, guys, enough. Let me. I thirst. I thrill. They talked different back then. Oh, belly laugh. We don't. I'm gonna emote, and I'm laughing from the belly. I'm just gonna overact. You should be whipped. Some people, if it's consensual, they look. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Stuff's nuts. I never got any fucking frickin'. The submission, what is it? So just be frickin' two people, just act humans. You have to frickin' handcuffs, frickin'. But isn't she who got kidnapped, or am I? It's like it's a trick. That's a crazy looking pottery the way it's like. Let's make it. You can't make it look too good. We're much more advanced now. We make good pottery now. Well, I mean back then, 1920. He's like, thank you. I can't do anything about the hunchback, but maybe I can shave. He's like, thank you, sweetie. She's like, well, maybe clean him up a little bit. He's a nice enough chap. The hell's one of the guys whipping him still sitting there? There's the friar, the priest, father, the holy man, the holy giant. I'm telling you, that guy was about 9'7". This proves. Why would the buildings? Why would the mud? Why did the mud? There's a Roger. I think there was a Roger mud. See, it all goes back to match game. Jackanapes, grapes. They could. Jackanapes ate some grapes. Does that rhyme? Look at how big those buildings were. Clearly made for giants. I don't know why I'm fixated on that. Maybe because it just showed up about a year ago. Like, I know Flat Earth has been around for centuries. Like, way, way back. I mean, it used to be the main doctrine that it was flat. That everything rotates around the Earth. Or that there wasn't that much history of the human. I think there was. I think there's very good information that this stuff could be hidden. The bone, if the places went underwater, then no one can get to them. No one would even know they're there. Past cities. I doubt there's any way they could have. There's no way they advanced the way it ended up for modern times. I like looking at people from the past. If they had the pyramids, so maybe the pyramids were not done by the Egyptians. Maybe they were. Who knows? There's a lot of mysterious archaeology out there. The problem with saying everything developed out of nothing is, so let's say, how did the nothing, what created the nothing? How can there be nothing? So nothing is infinite. Nothing is infinite. Even though it would be the wrong thing to do to have nuclear bombs going everywhere, or even man-made climate change, or getting hit by comet. No matter what, we're doomed, whether it's the mortal individual consciousness, even if there's reincarnation at some point, the only thing that lasts is nothing. But that doesn't account for the obvious reality of something. That's the absurdity of consciousness, as I think it was explained. So Esmeralda's queen. Problem is, I don't really care. I admit it. I care more about the details, like the actual quality of the what I'm looking at. There's a torch going. It goes very quickly though, so it's difficult to focus in on anything because it's taken away. That's the same with the individual. John Lennon, working class hero, he said for 20 odd years. So we get conditioned. It's all taken away. It's all emptied with death. whatever is contained within the brain Okay, say I'm the reincarnation of Lenny Bruce, then that would mean that our memory it survives, but it becomes blurry, becomes static, becomes obscured. It's like everything spreading out in the universe, getting isolated. They say the universe is expanding. We're not expanding, but it's quite incredible what's the reality, the planets, everything, the water, the consciousness. So I care less about the story and about watching those people looking at their clothes. It seems pointless to care about anything. Everything is equally nothing. Kramer. So the memories are there, they carry over. Right, so we're conscious, then we go through illness, we die. Then we end up in a new woman's womb. And then we're born again. There's no such thing as heaven. There's no such thing as Jesus Christ as God. Sorry. I'm not sure at all what the meaning is of, say, feeling fulfilled, of happy, filling the stomach, feeling healthy, being happy, smiling, learning, being calm, being focused, not worrying, at peace. That guy's clearly representing an ego. They're both overacting. Maybe they felt they had to. This could be one of those, you better off reading the book if you really care. one thinks they can watch this and that completes the assignment of studying Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think they're in for a rude awakening. I only get by on reading headlines. That was funny, I guess. I only get by doing that because I don't care. I'm only doing it like the kid reading the cereal box. Might as well multitask while eating the food. We take stuff for granted. I don't think I'm taking anything for granted anymore, which means there's no time for regret. There's going to be all that future to no longer remember. Maybe the game is, I've said this before, maybe the game is to become enlightened and then that will carry on each day and it will carry on into the next life. It can't be about giving up ever on the present life. I did see one story that they let this girl kill herself. There's nothing physically wrong with her. She was a witness to a terrorist attack. A lot of people died. She didn't. She wasn't even harmed, I don't think. And they allowed it at, what is it, the Netherlands, where they allow that, or Sweden, or somewhere. And psychiatry should be outlawed. Psychiatrists signed off on it. They're the ones who effed her up. You read a little into it. It said she was on like 18 different, like 11 different, like a big number of different medications. It's not just one, not just let's try this one. No. So psychiatry is sick. I think pot should be the medication if someone has mental illness. There, I said it. Gummies. Some people like gummies. They don't want to get so high. They like a little bit of it, relaxing. And they get the CBD out of it, the medical out of it. We're all vulnerable. If it doesn't matter how enlightened one is, they could have been non-enlightened. They cannot truly understand how they became enlightened. They're not sure if it was a fluke that they became enlightened. And they look back and they see, or they realize, oh, I have inattentive attention deficit. I have autism. Someone can be born with those. So that's a giant, isn't it? Sorry, I knocked a barrel there. Sorry about any bad sounds. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm only going to have a fan going. So I'm going to edit out a little room noise, but otherwise, I'm not editing anything. Otherwise, I'd be listening to myself for like 2 hours. And I probably will hear myself for 2 hours. What I do is, so I'm living this out right now in real time. Oh, she does like them. Or does she? doing this in real time. Phoebus, oh, is it a different woman? That's not Esmeralda. I guess I should have paid closer attention to the movie. What's the matter? Why does one have to remember this movie? What is so great about this movie that needs to be watched, that needs to be known? It's autonomic for me to be watching this. I'm not forcing anyone to watch this along with me, and if they're not even watching it with me, and even myself, if I'm in the future when I'm watching this, to watch the movie and get to know it, to see what I missed because I was talking too much. There's a learning curve to myself. I do notice that I have trouble at first, maybe sensory overload at first, but then I eventually relax and start absorbing and start experiencing. So we're gonna die. We eventually die. But we don't even know who we are. We are just we. We're advanced animals. Obviously, we can build stuff in the shelter. No animal ever comes close to what the human did. Yet the human was incapable of seeing what it lacked. I'm talking about the specific humans of the elites, the governments, the military, the corporations, the reality of reality. No one could see this coming. There are secretive groups that are behind all this. We all know it at this point. That's why I started the conspiracy science shtick. It sucks that the medium's dead. I'm hoping if there is reincarnation, which I think there is, and I hope I do find these videos when I'm someone new. Well, I'm actually the same spiritual match, but I hope I do find it. I hope this idea never kicks off. I hope this wisdom, it's wisdom to realize when life is inorganic and scripted. I don't ever want to forget it. I don't ever want to forget that those people are scripted. They're talking sideways. I don't ever want to forget it. I don't want them to get away with it. Okay, under 40 minutes to go. This silent movie shtick is backfiring. I can't stomach going through trying to find any more singing I did. It's too much of a hassle at this point. That's because the Microsoft video processor is garbage. I think that's by design. I think that's a conspiracy. She looks like the Joanna Kearns woman from the Alan Thicke, that TV show with the family. That's what I think she was. I think I was Lenny Bruce. It's a lot. The timing is directly there, and I think like him. I sort of even talk like him a little bit. it makes sense that if he was such a drug addict, not like he was a functional drug addict, so he technically wasn't a drug addict. He was in a little better situation than the COINTELPRO people, who are obviously they're all fidgeting. Lenny Bruce, he got ruined, then he put on weight, and he just lost it, and he died. He basically gave up. They killed Lenny Bruce was killed, no doubt about it. If you want to talk about manslaughter, and no one put a gun, no one directly killed him, but they killed him. Their actions led to his death. It's like if you hit someone with a car, they died 20 years later from the injury. It took a while, or the injuries. They think the injury was pretty much just it was a death sentence. Because we're given a death sentence as soon as we're born. No one usually gets past 100. It makes sense that someone all drugged up like Lenny was would become autistic. I think that makes sense. A guy like him he'd end up studying sociology. He'd end up in the Northeast. He'd be born just right after he died. That does not look nice what they're doing to her. She's super sexy though while doing that, which makes it a pre-code. We all know it. And the women today in the Daily Mail type, when they're exhibitionists, they don't look anywhere near as sexy as that woman did. Because there's no subtlety to the fake media woman, the scary Hollywood women. You can just sense a lot of perfume and just nasty ego, narcissism. Not even close to enlightenment, nowhere near it. Trying to smoke up some weed It's after 11, so I'm getting a little tired, but there's 35 minutes left. I'm hoping this processes fairly easily. Those things have been so difficult to get the machine to export it. God, what a had I think I was starting to talk about this conspiracy theory about it's not a coincidence that the video makers supplied by computers are garbage. They don't want us. They want the illusion of medium. And I say the medium's dead. If it was a legitimate world, then I would get credit somewhere along the line. It would say like, that guy did speak out against that. He proved somehow he knew about that, and this and that. I think the message is getting out there. I used the thumbnail from the last video, the one I put up this morning. It's a Farron Franzak. It's got a teleprompter too. Jamal. It just really puts it out there as a visual, exactly what's going on. And then you all know it. I'm pretty sure if someone's watching a video or more than one video of mine, I think you know they know exactly, you, they, me. We know this is true. we know that I was right because you put them on. Now, I suggest you pause them once in a while. If you watch them straight, you're going to get vertigo. They're not good people. They're scripted. They're gaslighting you. I'm just me right here watching Quasimodo. That's just me spending hours upon hours over half a year singing cover songs while scanning the instrumentals, humming them, whatever I was doing. I couldn't sing at all. I never sang. So some of this stuff lately I've been uploading again, re-uploading, sharing. Keeps sticking out his tongue juts. That's funny. Some of that stuff you can hear, I had never done the octave. Like when I did Bridge Over Troubled Water, my voice was cracking here and there, but it was more like it wasn't cracking because it was impossible for me to hit the note. It's because I'd never hit the note before. I noticed the same thing happened when I went with the lower notes. I don't know how the note's a note and you go up an octave. Somehow I can go up like 5 octaves. Some of that stuff I was doing, making fairly complex multiple sounds over many seconds. And it was just a leap of faith. It's a leap of faith to know music within the mind. So nothingness is the mind. I don't see how nothingness I'll never understand. No one's going to ever figure out how nothingness can create. Well, it wasn't nothing. We just don't know what that nothingness was. We are the nothingness, so we don't know what it is. A person with autism, they're in their 50s or whatever, they don't know they have it. Yet they do. So the nothingness is within each of us. Conditioning is the blocker. Phantom of the Opera will be a lot better. I think. I hope, anyway. I'm waiting for stamps to dry, then I'm going to put it all together in order. I have this system where I built the collection over many years. You collect, you amass. The main thing I do is I make sure they're clean. I'm at peace knowing that I don't just buy stuff and let it pile up in the glue and it just decays. No, you're either a hoarder or a collector. If you're a hoarder, the stuff's gonna go to rot. But I collect it, I clean it, I use water, I went through all the learning curves. don't want the water too hot. Say if you don't want to put red, bright colors in the water. If you're working on taking them off of the paper, you don't want to. The color will dye. The dye of it, the color will go onto the stamps. But you learn things. Basically, you learn. It's about. I learned this off of a PDF somewhere. Their conclusion was, comes down to one stamp. It went on and on for like 50 pages. Then at the end, it's like, well, when push comes to shove, it's all about one stamp. What that means, pulling of the hair. See, I'm right there. I'm watching it. Horses, guy pointing. There's a lot going on. Let me kill the gypsy. Your life for the life of my child. Back to the film. Giants. Everything looks very epic. I forget what I was saying, and it was probably something good. Or whatever I was saying, just if it sounded good, just continue with that thought, and I think it'll pay off some dividends. So you let the ego go. You don't want the ego. The middle way makes a lot of sense. The calmness. That's overacting. Come on, I don't care what year it was. Oh, stamps. So the main thing is it's about one stamp. The stamp's in bad condition, no one wants it, and it's worth nothing. Say by chance you have a $20 stamp, and it's ripped, it's torn. You know what that thing's worth? It's not even worth 10 cents. It's got toning, it's got the brownish, decayed. It's done. Say you have $1,000, you found $1,000 stamp. It's got a rip. Oh my, it's worth nothing. Maybe you get $20, $50. Say a stamp, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. The stamps, it's more important that the stamp is in good condition. So a 30-cent stamp can be worth more than a $20 stamp. Not that the 30-cent stamp is that going to bring a lot of money. Say you have a perfect 30-cent stamp. Say there's about 20 million made or 5 million made. Not a huge number compared to the billion numbers one sees, or the half a billion, or the 200 million. 100 million's even 1 million. 1 million is not that many because so many stamps don't make it. Then they need a nice cancellation. They need all the perforations. They can't be any thinning. So if you have a perfect, not scarce, but a stamp anyone would like. So it says 30 cents in the catalog. There's not like a billion of them, so it's a good stamp. Solid, to use the Freemason word, solid. You have to own everything. The people in power, that's why they mimic. But anyway, that must be my ADHD. I think I was blaming autism for a little too much. Whoa, it looked like her head was going to hit Again, I forgot what I was going to say, but what stamps? So the 30-cent stamp, there's still over 20 minutes to go. So I have to, even if it's stupid talk, I'm going to do it. So the 30-cent stamp is worth about 50 cents, maybe 40, 30. It's worth at least 30. I'll say that. Or maybe it's just not, no one's going to sell it because it's worth more as a stamp. It's worth more to have that 30-cent beautiful stamp and to give it away, to let someone who's not even going to know that it's what it's worth. Have a little drink so I don't cough. That was a crackle. There'll be a crackle from the water bottle. Those show up. I know they do on the audio. I've thrown out stamps that with the catalog value of over 100. I just threw it out. Said F it. Damn, that's perverted looking. So stamps are about condition. So I make sure that there are no hinges on them. If they're canceled, I mean, they got glue in the back. Sometimes I'll keep a stamp, even if it has a hinge mark. I mean a modern one. Usually if it's 1940 or earlier, it's okay to have a hinge mark as long as it's not too bad. And then you'll get that catalog value, or in theory, you'll get that middle value, not the mint, but the one below it. It's got like a light hinge mark. Sometimes I'll take all the glue off. If the glue's hardened, if it's a chemical disaster, you take the glue off. And the stamps can still be fine. So that's why sometimes there's no glue on the back of stamps. The person felt that to save the paper, you had to get rid of the chemical. Otherwise, maybe just throw it out. Junk is junk. That's where these con artists are coming into play. They make people think possession is what makes the stamp valuable. No, possession is meaningless, especially when we know we all die. The value is in the condition. So that's what that paper meant by saying comes down to each stamp. That's what stamp collecting is. It's about the value. It's about putting it together one at a time. So for me, it was about throwing out a lot of them. I used to have a great source. It was back when everyone was saying stamps were going to become abolished and go the way of the dinosaur. So I was getting big boxes of materials, and I learned pretty quickly what is what for stamps. It takes me like less than a second. I can just look at a little bit of a stamp and tell what country it is. The thing is, even though I've been able to experience what it feels like to be a savant, there's nothing Oh, it's Judd Hirsch. The Judd Hirsch from Taxi. I thought it was Kramer. They seem to be walking too fast for that to be. Something about old movies, they can never get it right. The speed always seems off. So I'm going to put my stamps together. It's kind of a hassle. It takes a long time. You end up those Vario sheets. That's what I use to put them together. The plastic, the black background with the plastic sheets. I got them in various different rows, systems of rows. And it's about curating. You got to throw stuff out. Other stuff I'm starting to think, I'm going to keep that. Usually I might think of throwing it out. I'm going to keep it. I've created a new back hidden section within my collection for good stamps that have flaws. I'm not leaving them any back glue. They're okay. Like I think there's a $3,000 stamp back there, but it's thinned out. If you look at the back of it and you look through it, there's like half the paper's missing on one side of it. But I mean, a $3,000 stamp is a $3,000 stamp, so I keep it. I got one that I'm displaying, $1,000. You can end up finding those $1,000 stamps. And then the easiest ones to find are probably the couple $100, but it doesn't mean they're going to be in great condition. And then it's just not an easy thing to collect. You want to get these big. You're better off if you could get collections and not get ripped off. Stuff to go through, like big accumulations to go through, and they're not going to. They have to be decent. There's got to be some sort of a treasure hunt in it. So whatever happens to my collection, say over 50 to 100 years, no one will probably know that. Now maybe I'll be able to leave it with people I love. That would probably be the ideal ending to it, where one has a good enough life where they don't have to sell it, they don't have to. It definitely helped me learn. The stamp collecting taught me to finish a job. Don't just start it. Don't just mail it in. Keep at it. Don't quit. I feel that same way with making videos, singing. So this is something I've gotten better with as I age. As I'm aging, I'm gonna die. Like Tyson. Okay, under 15 minutes to go, thankfully. I just didn't care about this movie. I can't relate to any of this crap. What, they're gonna look like they were gonna trample over someone. It can get tricky to put the collection together with those Vario sheets. Some stamps you want it to look good, but it's tough to have enough stamps to keep to not mix countries together. These bigger stamps you put into the bigger sheets. Not bigger sheets, but with the bigger, God, I can't, I wish I found it easier to speak. You got little stamps going to a certain sheet, and the big stamps going to the bigger sheet. And they're less big stamps, so you end up with different countries on the big sheet page, or the sheet with the big stamps. So I'm trying to keep it together so no one's going, there's the Bahamas again. When you're looking at Jamaica, you're already Montserrat, say for the Caribbean section. They're going after Quasimodo. I think they showed this at the summer camp, the sleepover camp, or maybe it was at the day camp. I have a memory of we're in the big tent watching this. It's raining. What an adventure. They should definitely clean up these. There shouldn't be any static. They should fix it so it looks realistic the way the people are running around. That's not how someone does that, is it? It looks too fast. So when someone thinks, when I think they're overacting, is it more that it's just stupid, it's technology glitching it? That doesn't look real. It's too chaotic. Gets pixelated. Is that the word? Well, I was actually more interested in my thought process than the movie. Oh, whoa. But that seemed to be overacting no matter what video equipment's being used. Silent movies. How come if they could tape record music, if they could tape record, why couldn't they tape record the dialogue and add it? Why did it have to be silent? How could they have technology they had technology for cars, planes? When did planes? Yeah, I think planes showed up before talking movies. So that's why I've been making some videos lately. Or at least the one. I think I made a couple. One or two recently. I know there was like a 2-week gap. I noticed those other shows still, but I'm trying to avoid them. I'm not going to make videos on them. Glad I got the word out that those people at COINTELPRO, that they're scripted. So all one has to do is watch them and they'll see it. You can even make the settings for YouTube. Just change it to half speed, 3/4 speed, and you'll put them on mute. You can listen to them too, but you follow their eyes. you see that they're scripted. They're going nowhere. I used to be on Twitter, and I was getting rid of robots who were following me. I even tweeted stuff like that. Like, I can't believe how fake this is. And I would end up with a good ratio. But it wasn't huge numbers. But I noticed that there was even, I would Google or whatever the search engine. It would say, oh yeah, go to this website, and it tells you about that Twitter account, how many the followers, are they robots? I don't know how accurate that was, but it seemed accurate. You plug in, you try to find the dialogues going on. The last time I noticed anyone caring about Convo Couch or Jimmy Dore on Twitter, those sort of people, was Force the Vote, and then who's that guy who I did videos on? The guy from Boston, COINTELPRO guy, Rob Weber. I learned about Rob Weber. They had him in a thing with, he showed that Jimmy Dore was editing, making him look better. Then I looked into him, and he's also COINTELPRO, and it's all scripted. Salon covered it, Daily Beast, that sort of thing. Long story short, the internet's dead. At some point, there'll be no excuse for no one not noticing that they're scripted. People aren't watching them. The only reason anyone watched Convo Couch was they covered Epstein in a video or two years ago, and their stats went through the roof from that, and then they got promoted by Dore. All these people are rigged and fake. Any type of social media success I've had, I had to do it myself. Oh, we're coming to the end of this thing. 5 minutes left. 5:40. Lon Chaney's overacting. I don't think this one is aging well. In fact, I'm starting to remember why I stopped watching silent movies. They're just not that good. Phantom of the Opera will be probably the last one I ever attempt this with. Haha, God will protect you. Haha, that's what you think. Haha. The nothingness protects us. So the nothingness got lonely. It's the absurdity of reality, which goes beyond the absurdity of consciousness. The absurdity of consciousness is equivalent to the absurdity of reality. There's a before us, there's an after us. There's an us. These old movies could get really violent. Lon Chaney, rest in peace. Dead for close to 100 years. There he is, we can see him. Maybe this video will survive. In 100 years from today, they'll say, listen to that guy. He said that it was COINTELPRO. Was he correct? Well, he was correct. We're here 100 years later. Them, not me. Which goes without saying. Okay, two set Quasimodo. 2 minutes left. I'm glad I don't have an ego. Or I think my ego, I think myself is, I spoke about the moon, the gravity in the moon. There's still gravity, but it's a lot lighter. So that's how I feel about myself. Regards. Overact much? Why did they have to do that? I don't care if it's a silent movie. Why do they have to be like that? Like he's looking off. Why is everything so fake and scripted even back then? Where's the reality to it? Lon Chaney overrated or what? Well, they were all overacting back then. You can't blame them. Oh, they were all racist back then. You can't blame any of them. All the countries were electronically in their citizens' mugs. It was to protect them. So the internet's dead. It died in 2016 or 17 when they arrested Assange. It ended with the Podesta emails where it was like, alright, there's no... So Snowden, at some point, you gotta say, every single part of this rubbish is fixed and fake. Okay, thanks a lot. That'll do it. Take care. God bless. God is nothingness, by the way. So, may nothingness be with you. May the nothingness be with you. And you find peace. A peace that never ends. But only because you're alive, you're conscious, you recognize it. I would say that was the overall plan of this. Dinosaurs, calamities, asteroids, floods, earthquakes, supervolcanoes. speaking out toward the nothingness. There's no center to the nothingness. A nothingness. What the hell's wrong with you? What were you thinking? Why didn't you think this through, nothingness? Is there not anything you can do to help us now, nothingness? I'm praying to you, nothingness.